Thank you so much for watching Riff TV. Now, this interview is obviously with video, but I don't interview everybody on Zoom. That's why I put it on my Talkin' Rock with Meltdown podcast. We talk to rock artists from all over the genre. So check out Talkin' Rock with Meltdown wherever you get your podcasts. And now to today's video interview.
So where in the world are you exactly?
We are in Lyon, in France, right now.
Oh, nice. Excellent.
A sold-out show, and I don't even know how many. Closer to 2,000, I think. It's going to be real good.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. That's awesome. Have you felt your career kind of go to every single level up till now?
Definitely. Yeah, still heading the right direction, knock on wood, but it's been baby steps all the time, which I'm not going to lie. If I would have, if we would have been getting the Guns N' Roses treatment at age of 22, I would have loved that at the time. I also don't think it's healthy for anyone to do it like that. So no. So yeah, definitely we feel and appreciate every little step. And this European run that we are doing right now, that will continue over your side of the pond in April, is particularly good, I would say.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring up the Guns N' Roses Slash thing, the Guns N' Roses thing. But yeah, those guys have been big time celebrities since their early to mid 20s. And it's like they kind of jump to that level right there. And that's kind of where they stay. But you guys have kind of built it up slowly and surely. A lot to do with your live show as well. When you guys played the Riff Fest last year, I could hear people talking all around me going, wow, this band is killer. And that's where I really kind of discovered you guys as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we like cardio on stage, and we like to practice. we really yeah, it's the end goal of what we do, I guess. The whole there's that cliche, it becomes a platitude if a singer says without the fans we would be nothing. But this is truly music that is made for that moment of when it enters people's lives, and it does that in tons of different ways. But specifically when we play live, we get to watch it happen, and that congregation, that ritual, is what it's all about for us. So we're very passionate about it. So it's good that people like it.
Now, do you write songs with the stage in mind or with videos in mind, or none of that?
No, it's more like really write music for the sake of music, and whatever needs to come out comes out. But I think it's a measuring stick, at least for me. If the riffs are good, if the grooves are good, you will start moving a certain way, and you will start getting ideas and inspired purely by the music. So it's not that you think, we need something that has a pyro on the downbeats or something, but you still kind of, once you start feeling the song, then you start feeling it in all these kind of different ways. And sometimes it really quickly lends itself to start imagining what it would be like to play it live. So, but that's an effect of giving a crap about the songs on a writer's level, I guess.
Yeah. Now, Avatar Country came out several years ago, and that's why I really discovered you guys. Hunter Gatherers came out a couple of years back, and then now you got the new record. The new record seems to be a little bit more Hunter Gatherers as opposed to Avatar Country. Would you agree?
Yeah, in the sense that Avatar Country was a comedy. It's a very specific time in our history, and something we really wanted to try, but to try once. The whole King thing and Avatar Country thing is all built out around inside jokes that we brought out to the world and let people and just played and have fun with people who joined in on that little game, and really make the Avatar Country thing come alive. It was very, very special, but it was a thing that could only ever work once. A part two just could never, it just would never work. Then Hunter Gatherer is very serious. I think it's an effect of what came just before, maybe too serious in some ways, and also maybe a bit song by song. I'm incredibly proud of it, but for the album as a whole, I could feel that in order to do Avatar Country successfully, we kind of had to consciously hold back other vibes, other ideas, and then that all came out in Hunter Gatherer in a way that I mean, again, individual songs, great, but seeing big picture, it feels a bit scattered. And it's a weird balance for us because we always eclectic, I guess is the word, in terms of just what happens on an album. But to be eclectic and scattered, that's the risk you take. And there I feel like Dance Devil Dance got that part right. There's more fun and dance and rock and roll on it, but it still definitely is all about exploring darker rooms. So finding the right balance between those and doing it where the songs feel more focused than ever, than anything we've ever done in the past, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, the record's killer, and it's like I love
Thank
like
you.
as with all your records, your voice plays such a unique instrument. As some guys they just got that one thing, or they're just a little bit, but you're kind of like wider. You're all over the place, don't you?
I like to feel like a beginner, which means I like to try things. And for each album, whatever are the challenges on that album, then to nail in the studio, to nail in the writing, once you hit the road with it, after a while, hopefully I should get a bit more secure in it. But that also means that I then have to push myself a bit further and further. And yeah, that leads to craziness on the album. And also, we all feel on any instrument, not just the vocals, but the way as we don't use trigs and we don't let the amps do too much of the heavy lifting. It's all about the wrists or the fingers on the bass and stuff that it's very important to us that to play metal should make you sweat a bit. That it's a physical genre, that part of the sound and the drive and what really makes metal what it is sensing that physicality. So yeah, there's a lot of pushing involved, and and I push myself all over the place. Absolutely.
How many of the ideas for this new record were kind of left over from the last record, or do you start from scratch?
Um, Not really, and nothing in a way, but it's also there are always those little bits and pieces that have been lying around longer than others. As a matter of fact, some riffs just take 10 years to figure out what you're supposed to do with it. And a lot of parts are from the dirt I'm buried in were written intended to be parts in Smells Like a Freak Show. So that's more than 10 years now.
Yeah.
But it's funny, but it kind of grow as what's called a mistletoe, like a parasite on the branch that was Smells Like a Freak Show on that album, where it became its own thing. Like, okay, it doesn't work for this song, but it is something. What is it? And then we had a disco beat, we had a clean guitars, we had a chorus. And from time to time would rediscover it on some hard drive or on someone's phone or just talking about it. That's something. Can we do something with it? And didn't nail it until now. So in that sense, yeah, like old ideas can get new life after a while. We never truly throw anything away. But there was no songs from the Hunter Gatherer era that had turned into songs then that stayed now. We kind of flushed that out when we did a whole little trip with the single releases throughout. When was that? Last year or a year ago, even I would say, and more. When we did So Sang the Hollow and Cruel and Unusual, and those were truly stuff that was written throughout the era of Hunter Gatherer.
Yeah, I know. I remember James Hetfield one time telling me he had some sort of like a riff junkyard that he would go to every once in a while.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't stare yourself too blind at it, and you can't, sometimes things simply don't work for a reason. But then you have those things where you have 50% of something, but it's such a good 50%, and then you can't really. But 50% is very, very far away from being a full song. And those drives can drive us crazy for years. And yeah, we got a whole lot of 50%ers, and from time to time, but it's just, again, some stuff needs more time to mature, and some things, I mean, most songs are always written in that time from when you release the latest album and go, good, I don't need to worry about writing songs anymore. Oh, a guitar, nice. Oh, okay, here we go again, guys, we're making another one. Same. And most of it comes in that phase because anyway, it reflects wherever you are in life at any given time. So lyrics are harder to recycle unless really lines that sound good, individual lines, but thematically because it feels so important to that whatever we do with Avatar reflects where we are at any given time. Like we're not interested in pretending that we are at any certain age that we're not. We want to keep this being, that the music goes on the same trip as we go through in life in general. So lyrically, it's harder to keep things around.
Yeah, I was going to say, this far in your career, what kind of stuff inspires you as far as music and lyrics?
I mean, in many ways, it's the same as always. It starts with the fact that we are fans. And it almost sounds religious putting it like this, I guess. But the thing is, we really, really love heavy metal. We really, and at this point in our lives, heavy metal has given us like everything. It's in that context, it's a part of that scene where I even met my wife, and that's how we pay our bills. So that's how we got to travel the world or make the friends we have, and how we got to be the family that we are and grow together way we have. It's all, and since adolescence, heavy metal has given us so much, and then it's just the drive of figuring it out more and more, doing something with it, and try to write songs you haven't heard yet, try to add something to the conversation to the best of our ability. And that is a driving factor in itself, just the passion for the music. And then specifically, it's life. So there's whatever journey you're on in life, on this and through the time of this album, things happened. A pandemic happened. I realized that I am Satan happened. A lot of things happened.
When does that dawn on you?
Oh, I started to run further, and by run I mean crawl and cry. But started to try to do exercising that took me over 10Ks, and if you're a good boy or girl, some of us are lucky enough to sometimes experience a proper runner's high. And I was in a kind of trance from running really far, and really far for me, and listening to some really intense rave music. And with everything that's been going through in life around that time and everything, it's just ultimately I don't believe in anything, but there's something to be said about the power of symbols, the power of rituals, that is definitely there, whether or not you believe in magic. We blow out birthday candles on the cake, most of us, that's a ritual. A concert is a ritual. We have tons of rituals in our lives and stuff, and symbols, tons of symbols, whether they're religious or political or otherwise. You can see the power of them. Sports teams, it's just how we operate, and me kind of accepting that there's a value in a spiritual perspective, whether or not you're a believer of things or not, was an important insight for me through this. And the more conventional higher powers in charge in different branches of faith, the instruction manuals to those belief systems tend to contain a lot of authoritarianism and misogyny and stuff. And then I think, and Satan then as this symbol becomes this, I don't know, egalitarian, feminist harbinger of democracy, and that's cool. And I like, the album is called Dance Devil Dance, but there's a difference between saying devil and saying Satan in my mind. Devil he's funny. That's Angus Young with horns on his hat. That's Highway to Hell. That's an aesthetic. That's a party. That's a rock and roll, right? Satan is a word and a name that predates the Abrahamic religions. You find it in Zoroastrianism and ancient Persia and stuff. And then I try to remember if it was Shatana or Satana or the root anyway is there somewhere, and I now misrepresent it by not remembering exactly what you should call it. But that figure has anyway traveled the world and traveled through history and tend to symbolize many different things, and as such it's very open to be moldable by your own perspective, by what that entity can be as a symbol. And I believe in accountability. I believe in the individual. I also believe in not putting anyone above or below myself, and all these things that this symbol as an antagonist and an antithesis to ruling conditions ends up standing for. So yeah, at this time at least makes perfect sense in my mind.
That is that's a lot to unpack right there. Unpack right there. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go somewhere else here real fast. But you just mentioned rituals and stuff. Was that horror movie The Ritual? Was that made in Sweden?
Wait, I try to remember that one because yeah, me and my wife, we watched all of them. They were out in the woods somewhere.
Yes, exactly. Well, that leads me to my next
Midsummer
point.
was
Yeah,
Midsummer, which was great. I just thought it was amazing to for once belong to the people who were quote unquote culturally appropriated. It was hilarious. But yeah, no, that wasn't your question though. Go ahead.
No, Midsummer is fantastic. But I wanted to ask, speaking of the ritual and stuff, Jay Rustin wanted me to ask you about your 4-hour hike through the woods.
Just 4 hours because the guys were so slow. Again, these long runs. I kept them going also while recording, as we were recording out in the wilderness and stuff. And one day I just, hey guys, let's go. Let's around the lake and then some. Come on, like, come with me. It's you're missing out if we're here for a month and you don't do this. And it was most were okay, and I got most of the band and the people who were with us, Jay and the camera guy, and stuff to come with us. But there was a lot of, are we there yet? Are we there yet? And of course, when I went alone, I saw falcons. I saw all kinds of animals when I was there by myself and everything. And then we just saw cars when we walked everyone together, of course. But yeah, no, it built some character for someone, I hope.
Why do so many rock bands use Jay Rustin? He's used all over the place. For those who don't know, he produces, he mixes, he does all sorts of stuff. You guys have worked with him several times.
Because for whatever reason, the even bigger selling genre people are not smart enough to realize how great he is. So we get to keep him for ourselves. Jay, as an engineer, as a producer, he's obviously mostly known for heavier stuff, rock and metal. Yes. But if you if you expand the curriculum to also mixing, engineering, and everything, he's done it all, and he got experiences for it all. I think I like because he has done so many things, seen so many things. Everything feels possible with him, and it's easy to develop a common language because I don't know enough about mixing or the studio stuff, what each button does to be able to truly communicate what needs to be done. But we are able to communicate what we would want and what we want to try and where we want things to go in a way that he then can fill in the blanks in that. So he really makes it easy for you to be an artist in that sense. It's very easy to work extremely hard with Jay. The good take, do another one. Good take, do another one. Good, like that whole, the flow of doing that, his discipline and his endurance to what he puts his ears through so that we can put what we put our bodies through playing. It just flows, he's a workhorse in that sense. And speaking for our band, like just with our values, what we like, what we're into, what we don't eat and what we eat and whatever, we just are very much in tune with each other and sync. And I have a feeling that he's able to do that with most people he works with, connect with them. So it's just a total package. And nowadays, when no one is willing to pay for as much personnel as you would find on when Beatles did Abbey Road and stuff, it's good to have a total package with the right attitude, as Jay is.
Yeah, Jay said living in the forest for a month was amazing. I know you've probably talked about this before, but just for the folks here in Detroit, maybe you'll be watching this for the first time, whatever. Why did you guys decide to go to the middle of nowhere?
Well, so it kind of goes back to the experience of having done hunter-gatherer, which was amazing. We went to Los Angeles, so that ultimately becomes the center of the music universe as far as for entertainment in general. It's Hollywood, it's studio cities, all these things, right? So the resources and the vibe of the people who work there, it's just so very validating place to be, and well equipped, amazing, and easy to find vegan food at any time of the day. And it was pretty sunny for us Swedes being there in December and everything. Awesome in every possible way. It was for us maybe a bit too awesome, as stupid as that sounds.
You had to pare it back a little bit.
Yeah, just that, you feel it's easy to pretend that you're recording Thriller and you have Steve Lukather in there playing, and you make slicker choices. I think that album sounds amazing.
Yeah,
the amazing way, in the way it sounds amazing, is very good, heavy low end, and it's fancy. And I think we sacrificed aggression for that. And where I feel like that album should have, if you would listen to raw mixes, like just unmixed of the performances and what we actually did, that album is recorded live as far as the instrumentals go. But it sounds so quote unquote good that we kind of hide that fact, I feel. And this time it's more important to capture that gnarliness and paraphrasing Jay to get that more aggressive sound and guitar driven sound, and to be down and dirty rock and roll with your metal and make the death metal riffs count for something. All those, that's a more mid-range mix. Actually, between Hunter Gatherer and Dance Devil Dance coming out, Cannibal Corpse released an album, and it was for me such a jolt to be reminded of how mean guitars could and should be, and so all that spilled into wanting to have a different attitude in every part of it, of course, what kind of songs we wrote, more to the point, more consistent maybe in the grooves, song by song, so that sense of focus, and combining that with a performance that again is a bunch of guys sitting sweating in a room, but really capturing the sound of that, not just the performance of that, and to just be away from the world together like that, which was so pleasant. We just, again, hiking, cooking for each other, oak barrel hot tub, and basically living like a fancy little doomsday cult for a month. Was very good stuff.
Yeah, Jay had some great things to say about it, as did George Jr. He said it was really a cool experience. But hey, a couple more things here for you, and we'll cut you loose. And thanks for your time. I know you guys show here tonight. Have you been following the world of wrestling?
Yeah, I always keep an ear on the ground casually. See, but I'm not super up to date. I also like to listen to the podcasts of people talking about how much better it was before, and I tend to agree.
Yeah.
But I keep an ear on the ground.
Yeah, I'm an Attitude Era guy myself, and actually I'm going to an independent show tonight. My friend Rhino is going to be wrestling. Do you remember Rhino?
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, he's from here. Maybe I'll have to bring him out when you guys play here in at the Royal Oak Music Theater coming up. But and of course Danhausen's from here. We'll have to see if we can get Danhausen out to a show. He's had some surgery.
Very cool.
But all right, final thing here for you, since we are in Hockey Town, who's the greatest Swedish hockey player?
Oh, there are different kinds of looking at this. Nacka Skoglund, of course, if you look at early Trailblazers. But for me, going back to childhood, what he meant, and then what he was able to achieve in his NHL career and stuff. Sorry, Detroit, but it has to be Peter Forsberg for me.
Oh, okay. There you go. He's the
Olympic gold in '94.
Yeah.
The Olympic gold in '94, and then a couple of Stanley Cups there with the Avalanche and stuff. But then I know I'm cursing in church there, and I do appreciate what a Sweden town Detroit is for due to ice hockey. So I know what I'm doing by saying this, but I just was 8 years old, and we were the best in the world, and then he did the NHL stuff and was one of the greatest there. And also I love the defensive tackles. So, the eyes in the neck, he was a Jedi,
Yeah.
People come from behind and somehow they weren't to tackle him, but somehow his shoulder always knocked them out. It was amazing.
He was a great player, there's no question about it. I had the good fortune of playing with Milan Hajduk for a year last year, and of course many years with Forsberg and stuff. But what a great guy he is too. But well, the new record's out. Dance Devil Dance is out, and we'll see you here in Detroit at the Royal Oak Music Theater coming up here in a month or so. And
looking forward to that a lot.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time, and I can hardly wait to see you guys back on the stage, because that's where you belong as far as I'm concerned.
It is where we belong. It is, yeah. We need some good rituals over on your side of the pond as well, or bring it.
All right, I'll bring some wrestlers. How about that? We'll start with that.
Please do. Yeah, still real to me, damn it.